Okay, we are now live on Facebook. So we are here for Spotlight Sunday with Shannon Rose, and I'm super excited to hear about this stuff. We were just talking before we went live about how branding and all of this stuff is so closely related. So I'm really, really excited to dig in to all of this and just being authentic and vulnerable and your actual real self online. So super, super important. Before we do that though, I would love it if you could just take a second and introduce yourself. Tell us about you and your business and what you do and why you do it. All the juicy details.
Yeah, for sure. So hey everybody, thanks so much for being here. My name is Shannon Rose. I am a mama. One of my little kids just came out from the bedroom as we hit live, so she's now sleeping on the couch. And my business is all about empowering women to really take hold of their life, to get honest with I don't want to swear because my daughter is here, but get honest with the shit that they haven't been getting honest with, so that they can really stop holding back in their life. And the reason really that I do this is because that's what I did. And through doing that, I've basically got my life back. I've got myself back. And it's been such a beautiful experience. And so that was like, there were a few turning points along the way, and it threw me into this coaching business. And we're Australian, and we live in the Italian Alps, and I needed to be able to create something that I could connect with women and do my thing. And so I'm in the online space now. And so it was just kind of this natural transition. And yeah, the rest is history.
I love it. So how did you end up in the Italian Alps all the way from Australia?
Yeah. So my background is actually, I'm a strength and conditioning coach and nutritionist. So that's like my background. My husband and I, we owned a gym in Australia, and we sold it in 2016. And my husband's actually Austrian. So his roots are in Austria. And he said to me, he's like, what do you want to do? And at this time I was 6 months pregnant with my second. And he's like, I would love to go back to the mountains. And I thought, well, I've never been to Europe. Okay, let's go. So yeah, so we found ourselves in Austria, and I had Harry. So that's my littlest. He's almost 2 now. I had Harry in Austria, and my husband ended up getting a job here in Italy. And so we hopped the border and we live here now. So
how fun. Well, and that's the beauty of having an online business too, right? You can just go wherever you want.
It really is. And it's so beautiful to say, like, I can be location dependent now. It's like absolutely phenomenal.
I love it. It's super exciting. Super exciting. And that's
Did I just lose you?
Uh-oh. Are you still there? Oh no, it's cutting out. Okay, let's see here. Technical issues are fun, right? Let's see what we can figure out. Hold, guys. Hold, please. Let's see if we are still live. We are still live. So for those of you that are here, apologize. Technical difficulties. And hopefully Shannon can log out and come back in. So while we're waiting, if anyone has any questions about this topic, now would be an awesome time to put them in the chat box. That way we can have them ready to go and queued up when Shannon comes back. Yay! We're back. No, you're totally fine. Again, you're talking about the beauty of online business, right? So the other side of online business, crap like that happens all the time.
The other side of online business is that's the reality. Yes. Oh my goodness. So we are in the Alps, and it like the weather today is actually horrendous. It's snowing, and so it is probably my internet. I really apologize.
You're fine. Totally fine. So it happens, right? And I feel like that it happens to everybody. So it's totally fine. It doesn't matter at all. But it you kind of get used to it, right? I feel like anyone who is an online business owner and anyone who follows other people, like if you go watch videos from literally anyone, it happens. Totally.
Oh my
happens.
goodness. It does happen. Oh my God. You would never guess what? My son is now crying.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. Maybe it's just not meant to be. I'm really going to have to try to do my best. I'm so sorry.
You're totally fine. Totally fine. And we can always too, if anybody has any questions that we don't get to or anything, we can always come back and, answer them in the comments, or we can do another Spotlight Sunday later if you want to do that too. But yeah, whatever you want to do is totally fine with me.
It's okay. I might just have to go put his dummy in. Oh my goodness. But this is the reality. Are there any mums in the
group
right now?
There are. And I promise you're not alone. If you go look at the Spotlight Sunday archives, we got awesome little kids on there, and we got dogs on there. We got, I think either the last one we did with Amy, her power went out in the middle of the Spotlight Sunday. So it was totally dark except for her computer screen. Poor Amy. So
oh my goodness. I wonder if it's like the Sunday, like maybe it's the Sunday feeling,
Yeah. So no one cares. It's totally fine. If you need to step away for a second.
he's okay. I can hear him. So I'm here, but I'm listening as well.
Okay, good.
So
mom thing going on. You can multitask.
I've got the mom thing going on fully.
Cool.
So yeah, I was talking about like having an online business.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is amazing. Like it's so phenomenal to be able to have an online business and to be able to, my kids are here and I am working, and it does allow you the flexibility. Wow. Sometimes though, I don't know if you find it, it is hard, especially as a mom, to really find the balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I was telling you before we got online too, I don't personally have kids, but I totally feel you. Like I have 5 brothers and a sister that are all younger. So I've watched my parents do it. And then we have had a ton of people in this group, come in and share their perspective too. I'm thinking of Caitlin came and did a Spotlight Sunday. It was called Managing Yourself as a Mompreneur. So that'd be another good one to check out.
I saw that actually. Yeah. I was looking through the archives today.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. So you're totally not alone. So yeah, I love it. Well, cool. So before we dig in, then I have my general branding question that I love to ask everybody. So, and I'm excited to hear your perspective since you said you are rebranding right now. So, what does branding mean for you? What does that definition look like in your world? Yeah.
So branding for me, up until this point, up until about a month ago, I really had no idea what branding was. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I have a logo. So the name of my business is She, and it stands for strong, healthy, and empowered. Because that is my philosophy for myself, for my mind, for my body, all that kind of thing. And that's exactly the same for the clients that I serve. And so She was born in June last year. And, there was no branding really. I was like, well, she's just me, so I'm just going to be me. And so, but as things have kind of evolved, and exactly like in the online space, there are so many women doing amazing things, and it is hard to stand out. And so I've connected with a beautiful a lady in the online space, and she's helping me to really pull together my brand and like have streamlined colors and like a streamlined feel. And I was literally just pinning things to my Pinterest board last night. So really I feel like branding to me is, people see my images, or they see the logo, and they get that immediate feel, exactly like you say, of like who I am, and what they can expect.
I love it. Yeah. And you, like the part at the beginning too, like when you said you didn't really know what it was, but you were still doing it right, even though you didn't think you did. Just that being yourself and showing up as you, that's really all it is. And then you just figure out how to translate that into images and colors and all of those other things. But really that core piece, you nailed it. You nailed it from the beginning. So that's the perfect place to start.
Thanks.
Perfect place to start.
Well, yeah, it's kind of been something that's always tripped me up. I was like, right, I'll just have a logo and, you know, everything else will be fine. But now it's kind of like getting the intricate pieces to what that really looks like. I'm finding that really difficult.
Yeah.
In trying to voice the feelings,
mm-hmm.
you know, with what I want to
Absolutely.
evoke, not only in myself and the passion that I have, but to be able to have that really communicate clearly to the women that I want to attract.
Yeah, it is. It's tricky, right? That's obviously, I know that's what my whole business is built around, but
right.
Yeah. So it's really just about taking all those things that really you are passionate about and your values and beliefs, and, you know, articulating it in a way that they get it. So you said you took the quiz just like yesterday or something, right? So I think that'll really help. And there's color and font suggestions in there too.
Oh my goodness.
There's a little bit of design stuff in there too.
Oh my God, I can't wait to dive in. And no, I just downloaded it. I have it in an open browser window, like one of my 50 open browser windows, and I'm ready to dive in. So I will do that because that's really helpful.
Yeah, it's just fun, if nothing else. But there's a lot of design stuff in there specifically, and then, you know, talking about articulating that message in a way that people just get it. So I'm excited to hear back after you go through it. You'll have to let us know how it goes.
Oh my God, I love it, and I can just kind of like feel. I have this sense like your mind is ticking over, right? I can feel it.
Good. I'm glad. Okay.
Really cool.
Well, thank you for being patient with me and answering my branding question. So I would love to hear your stuff. So we do have quite a few people live right now, and no one has said hi to me yet. So if you're watching, please say hi to us so that we know that you're here.
Hi.
Watching, and let us know if you have any questions along the way. But I think we're ready to dive in with becoming a vixen through vulnerability. I love that title that you came up with too.
Yeah, so do I. Do you know what? It just flowed through me. I was like, wait, this is it. This is like where this is going. So yeah, I've created a little worksheet for everybody. So if you are interested, I think Brooke's going to put the link in the comments for you all. And so can I just share a little bit about how this is
absolutely
kind of evolved? All right.
Yeah.
So my journey into like where I am today, it really stemmed from a turning point in my life. And the turning point happened, it happened through, let's just lay it out on the line. It happened with an argument with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And this argument, like within this moment in time, it was almost like I was still in time.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was reflecting back to me in that moment, the behaviors, the actions, the way I was speaking, the person that I was being. He was showing me all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the hardest thing that I ever have been through. And consequently, after that particular event, it was the 6 months following that I had to find the courage within me to go to those vulnerable places and acknowledge the actions, the behaviors, the thoughts, the woman that I was being, and love her and let her go. To be able to really step into that spirited woman, that vixen, and to really just own who I was. And the more that, I don't know if you've gone through like a personal development kind of journey, I think all women who are in the online space, we do, because it takes courage and it takes confidence and it takes conviction to show up in this space.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so the preceding, the following 6 months was a space where I did some energy healing. I worked with life coaches, and it was this time where so much came up and I had to look at all of that. And I also had some really vulnerable moments and some raw and real moments with my husband, where I I had the courage and the bravery to say to him, I need you to show me this. I need you to tell me when that woman creeps back in.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to be that mirror for me. And we often don't want to go to that place. Like, we don't want to go there. No one wants to acknowledge their shit. No one wants to look at it and go, well, yeah, I am being judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
I am being rude. I'm being bitchy. I'm not showing up as my highest self.
Yeah.
And I wonder, and I'm questioning, I'm probably blaming and shaming, which is often where we're at. You know, we're in that space, and all it takes is us to kind of slow down and look at ourselves to be able to understand why the reality that we're currently experiencing is why it is.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of that take a step back and get some perspective is definitely amazing.
Yeah. So here's the kind of like the next steps, because I feel that often what we will do is we will take a step back. Like if you're in that space of awareness, or if you're, you know, you have someone who's kind of said to you, you know, maybe what you're doing right now isn't, you know, it isn't the ideal.
Yeah.
And so I feel like there are a lot of women who we will step back, we will, you know, take inventory and we'll look at it. But it's the following steps that matter the most. It's the following steps of actually creating change, of changing that habit, that thought that you always have, the way that you curse when your husband doesn't take out the garbage, the way that you are short-tempered when you don't get a good night's sleep and you blame the kids and you show up in that way. The common denominator in kind of all of this is us.
Yeah.
And that is my message. Like, that's because, you know, through my own personal journey, it's really been, I used to always blame, I used to always shame, and it was never my fault, right? But becoming that vixen and taking my power back and acknowledging that and shifting it has so empowering. And so that's what I help my beautiful clients do. And from that space of embodying that, we, you know, it gives them the power to go out and do the things they really want to do, to reclaim the intimacy in their relationships, to become a better, more present mom, you know, or to go and take the leap and leave their job, start an online business, like whatever it might be. But I honestly do believe it's not until we're able to really acknowledge, get vulnerable, like with ourselves, that we can take that next step, that we can up level, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. So are there any questions? I've actually never done it live like this with the Zoom.
Let's see here.
Oh, hang on.
A bunch of highs and hays. Carla says, hey. Mary Lou. So no questions yet. So
okay, cool.
If you have any questions, keep putting them in as we go. And then also when you're watching the replay, still say hi. Let us know you're watching the replay and put in questions there too. But awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, so that's awesome. I love hearing people talk about their core message and their mission like that, because you can just tell when the people are so connected to it. And I don't know. That's why I love doing these Spotlight Sundays too. Like, I love getting the people that are just so freaking passionate about their thing. It just bleeds through everything that you say. It's amazing.
I'm so glad, because in all honesty, it has changed my life. It's changed who I am as a mom, who I am as a partner, how I show up in business.
Yeah.
It's changed everything. It's not like, it's been the hardest journey I've ever been on. And I watch my clients go through this every day, every week, you know, and I'm not without it. Like, with every level, there's a new devil, and there's something else that you have to really connect with and have that courage, and, you know, the courage to go to that vulnerable place, to acknowledge it, to be able to then shift it, right?
Yes. And sometimes that's the hardest part too, is just acknowledging it, right? Just being brave enough, like you said, and having the courage to even recognize it. That's the hardest part.
That's 100% it. And that is you've just hit the nail on the head. It's the actual acknowledgement and having the bravery to see it, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's so much easier to just, like you were saying, blame everyone else and not take any responsibility. I feel like that's as humans, our default setting, and just taking a step back and, getting some perspective.
Yeah, because
we are responsible for every choice that we make and every action we take. And
100%. And like, no one wants to feel as though they have done something wrong. Like, we don't want to feel like that. We don't want to stand there and go, hey, yep, I was wrong. I said the wrong thing. I made the wrong decision. But hey, let's kind of, like, if it's, with another person, hey, let's work together. Let's get through this. Yeah. I'm acknowledging the mistake, or I'm acknowledging, the decision, whatever that might be. Mm-hmm. And it's really, really, burpee. It is, it's really hard. And it takes courage to go to that place.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, that's kind of like a little bit about, how I got to where I got to, and but I would love to share like some of my coaching with the ladies in here, so that you really leave with something tangible, that you can go away and apply to your lives.
I love it. That sounds awesome.
So the worksheet that I have created for you guys is, I'm actually going to try to pull it up without blinding my son with the light. So what I love to say is that everything that you want is already within you. It's time now to unleash it. And that unleashing, it doesn't come without going into the uncomfortable. And, that process really is, it is so simple. There is going to be a ton of emotion, but
simple and easy are two very different things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Simple and easy are two different things.
I mean, it's easy because it starts with a simple decision.
Right.
It starts with a decision to say, yes, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
Can I just run this one back into his bed?
Absolutely.
Hang on 2 seconds.
Okay, Victoria joined. Hello, Victoria. So glad you guys are here. So for those of you that have joined late, we were talking, before we went on live too, about how closely related this stuff is to branding. I'm going to take this opportunity to, of course, pull back in branding, but it is so, so, so important, because you can't have a strong brand until you've acknowledged all of this other stuff, right? So all of this stuff that Shannon's talking about, being vulnerable and getting to that place where you're comfortable and confident in yourself, that's when you can do all the branding stuff, right? So I was just saying how all of this stuff is so related to branding again, and you can't really do anything that I teach until you've done all of this stuff that you teach first, right? It's like that core piece to, like you said, going anywhere next. It's that foundational level that you have to have.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it really is. It's exactly like, what I explained before, and exactly like what you've just said then. To change, here comes Harry again, to change, anything, like to improve the intimacy within your relationship, to become a better mom, and if you're in that space of, oh, you need to do a wee, that's convenient. Here, let's put a nappy on. Sorry.
You're okay.
This is what happens when you schedule something and there's no husband around. Yeah, put a nappy on. And usually this is not how I work. This is reality right now.
It is totally reality. And like I said, you're so not the first one. Don't even stress about it. It's real life. That's what we want to show everybody, is real life of managing an online business.
Come here, you want to snuggle?
I remember we got to see both of Tana's adorable children in her Spotlight Sunday too. Her little girl and boy were in there. She did it was a photo shoot one, and she was showing us all these different outfits that would look good on camera, and her little kiddos were in there. It was fun.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, you want to go back to bed? You want to sit with mummy? Just sit with mummy. Okay. This is Harry. He is 2 in 6 days.
Hi, Harry.
Whoosh, so late. So let's dive in. I really want to give the ladies who are here live, if there are ladies here live or if they're catching the replay, I really want to give them some tangible, this is kind of the action steps. This is where you can start. So for you ladies who are out there and you are recognizing that you can make some improvements in your life and that you're ready to look at how you're responsible for the results that you're either getting or not getting in your life. And I'm talking any area of your life. So I really work very holistically with my clients, given the fact that my background is, strength and conditioning and fitness and women's hormones, all that kind of thing. So, everything is linked. And I honestly believe that, and and I'm glad that you're nodding. And especially as women in the online space, like we're entrepreneurs, we're working hard, there's got to be the balance, where you do look after not just the mind, but the body and the soul and, what you're eating, all the things. So the results that you're either getting or not getting are 100% your responsibility. And if you're ready and willing to go to that uncomfortable place and find the courage to experience the emotions of that place, this is what I go through with my clients, and I really want to leave you guys with this. So I have created that worksheet, and the first step, so the first page just, is a little bit of an intro, and if you're ready to embrace your inner VIXEN, then this is kind of where you need to go. So the first step that I walk my clients through is I ask them, or I have them ask themselves, or I ask them, but if you guys are doing this, I want you to ask yourself this: what do I need to hear right now? So I'm ready to embrace my honesty. I'm ready to dive into this vulnerable place filled with all the courage required to see it. So if you are asking yourself that, like, what do I need to hear right now? Think about the results that you want and how you are the moving piece to getting those results. And so your mind, when you ask yourself this, like, what do I need to hear right now? Your mind's probably going to give you your to-do list for Monday. And it's really going to try to skirt around the actual answer. So I would invite you to sit with this. Like, this is not something you do on the fly. This is something that you do when you have time and you have space and you're not interrupted. It's something you do when you're ready and you're willing to go there. You can make yourself a cup of tea, you can sit down in a nice place, and you can really do this. So, when you ask yourself this and your brain starts to feed you all of these answers, write everything down. Write your to-do list, write everything. Because in and amongst all of that download, there will be things. There will be, what do I need to hear right now? I'm too short-tempered in the morning with the kids. I'm really not managing my time as best as I could. I'm not giving enough time to my husband. Like, these are kind of different areas, they're thoughts, and they each have the ability to uncover something deeper that needs to be dealt with. And I think that's kind of, is this making sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm typing it in as we go too. So
okay, cool.
It's super easy, but yes.
And so as you kind of are downloading all of this great information that is so useful, that often we kind of bypass, the millions and millions and millions and millions of thoughts that we have. but there's so much juicy goodness and information there that you can actually take action from.
Yeah.
So if you are brave enough as well, and you're ready to listen or to hear from someone else, I would invite you to ask your husband, ask your best friend, ask a work colleague, like ask them, what is something that I need to hear right now? That you can give me your perspective of how I'm acting, how I'm behaving, the words that are coming out of my mouth. Like, what's your perspective of who I'm being? Because that's going to take courage.
Yeah.
And
I like that though.
Yeah. And this is what I do with my husband. He has the permission at any time to call me out and to say to me, babe, you need to hear this right now.
Yeah.
And I always take a big deep breath and swallow very hard. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to deal with now? Where do I have to go? So like I said, each one of these thoughts that you're downloading onto this piece of paper, it has the ability to take you deeper, and that's the next step. So from that, I really would invite you guys to choose and kind of don't go any further than 3 different thoughts or 3 different behaviors, or, you know, what you've kind of downloaded here. Don't go any further than 3. And you want to choose that particular thought or that particular behavior, and you want to take it deeper. So why am I being short-tempered with the kids in the morning? All right, you need to ask yourself why you are. Like, sit with just that particular thought, because initially it's going to be a download of all these different things. But then when you really look at that one thought, you're going to write it on the top of a piece of paper or in your journal if you're someone who journals.
Okay.
Why am I short-tempered with the kids? Or why am I not managing my time the best I could? Because what's potentially coming out of that is procrastination, is fear of not being good enough, fear of failure, like all of these kinds of things, right? And your action or inaction by not managing your time correctly is coming from the fact that you're just afraid.
Yeah.
And then when you can recognize that, you can then take action to shift that.
Yes.
And it's the same with, you know, like for the mums out there, you know, why are you being short-tempered in the morning? Is it because you got woken up 5 times? Often, you know, the big things that come up from my children, my clients, is that they take it out on their children. But it's not the kids' fault, right? It's not their fault. And it's really beautiful because it gives you that power. It gives you your power back in the situations, right? When you are with the kids in the mornings, trying to get them out the door, all of the things. It gives you your power back when you recognize that you're actually the one who is creating that tough situation in the mornings. Like, it's you and your thoughts. Yeah. Okay, so when you recognize that, you have the ability to be able to change that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I love how I feel like just saying they are so simple. Like you said, it's so simple. It's so easy. It's just that being open to it and being willing to do the work is like the only requirement here. You have to be brave enough to do it.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, we all want change. We all want results. Like, you know, a few of the clients that I've worked with previously, you know, like they're struggling to lose weight, for example. And it's not that the program's not working, or it's not that they're not eating the right foods. The thought that they're having that is preventing them from getting the result that they want is they believe losing weight is hard. And so that particular thought is actually the thing that's preventing them from getting the results that they want. And it's often that we don't want to recognize that, because we're the ones who are then making it hard. Yeah. Because action is in alignment with that thought, right?
Absolutely. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's just so amazing when you have the ability to really recognize that. So once you've kind of like, you've got these three things, you've got like the three thoughts or behaviors that you're really working on. I would invite you to create an action step for each one of those. So once you've taken it deeper, once you've really gone into the dialogue of why you're acting the way that you're acting,
Mm-hmm.
able to then reclaim that power within you. Yeah, you want to go to bed? Do you want to go to bed? See, you've got your three areas. The next thing for you to do, and you know, whether it's kind of like what I do with my husband, and if you can have external support with this, I would encourage it like tenfold. It's going to increase your results faster. Is to have someone call you out on it. Like let him know that, okay, for example, when I was, and the reason I use the, you know, being short-tempered with the kids in the mornings is that's how I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really connected with that, and I'm aware when other mums are in that space, and I let Nick know that this is what I'm currently working on. Like this is where I'm at. This is the space I really want to improve on. And so he would, anytime in the morning that I was being the way I used to be able to allow me to reclaim the woman that I want to be, right? Not let her get away from me, but stay in that zone. He would invite me to take 5 minutes outside in a very kind way. He's like, babe, you need to take 5 right now. And I'm like, you know, probably with a lot of resistance, I would walk outside, I would take 5, and I'd come back in being the woman that I wanted to be, being the mom that I wanted to be, and take action from that space with the kids. And it's changed everything.
Yeah.
So it's really about then, once you have that, is really about creating an action from that to be able to give you the result that you want.
Right. I think that's super important. Like you said, it increases your success tenfold, but it just feels good to have somebody supporting you too, right? So I've been in kind of both situations. My husband is awesome, but I've, you know, have family members and other people who are not supportive sometimes. So that definitely makes a huge, huge difference. And having somebody understand what you're working on is huge. I love it.
100%. And it does make all the difference when not like supporting you, but kind of meeting you with understanding as well. You know, like it's not an easy thing to change behaviors that have been cemented within you for years and years and years and years, right? It's not easy. And you're going to be feeling a lot. And that's the other thing. Like, if there are things that come up for you that make you angry, you need to get angry.
Yes.
Like, if there's something that, you know, is said to you that makes you feel like it makes you feel sad that you are doing that, then be sad. You know, like we often continue to suppress like the emotions, and if you suppress it for longer, it's going to come out at some point.
Absolutely. And it's not going to be good when it does usually.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that has been, you know, I hope that has been really, really helpful. And, you know, my highest intention with the work that I do is to really empower women to reclaim that, exactly like that power that they have by taking ownership of who they don't want to be, getting honest with that, and then changing it. So yeah, I really appreciate you giving me some beautiful floor space to share my message.
You're so welcome. I love it. Like I said at the beginning too, I love hearing from people who are just so passionate about this stuff, and it's amazing. So you also have a program starting like tomorrow, right?
I do.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
The accelerator, the Feel Good Accelerator. It's 5 weeks. It's an immersion to take these women through. It's all really designed to create that safe space to allow these women to get vulnerable. So week number 1, we're talking all about the foundations of feeling good. So it's looking at the different pillars. It's not just thought work. It's, you know, how are you moving your body? How are you honoring your body with food? What do you need to feel your best? You know, with mindset as well. So we're looking at all of those foundations. We create intentions for the 5 weeks. And this is actually designed, so we have the 5 weeks, and then in week number 5, we are creating the next 5-week accelerate strategy. So we get together, they get a one-on-one call with me, and from the work that we've done, we then create the next 5-week action plan, so that it's not just like it finishes and then, okay, then what? But it's really about supporting them to move on from that point. Week number 2 is Dare to Be True. So that is like, we're digging in to all the goodness. Like, we're going to that place. There's going to be laughter. There's going to be tears. There's going to be all the feels. And then week number 3 is, it's all about self. So it's all about that self-awareness, self-respect, self-discipline, self-love, and really honoring like who we are and who we get to be. And then depending on why each woman came, sorry, my English, you know, whether it's with their relationship, whether it's, you know, with their business, whether it's with being a mom, week number 4 is about action. So what do we need to implement? Like, do we need to implement random acts of kindness towards your husband just to make him feel like you care? Like, it's about doing those things and having the support around you. And then, yeah, and then week number 5 is kind of like a mastermind the last week. And it's really like, it's, I'm really passionate about it. I don't know if you could.
I can tell. I can tell. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I have some beautiful women in there. I have 5 spaces remaining. And it's really just about holding the space for them to be able to stop holding back in all aspects of their life and giving them the tools that they can apply to all those areas.
I love it. It sounds amazing. Like, I love the order that you put everything in. It just, yeah, I can tell you're super excited about it. So if anyone is interested in that, how would they go about finding more information from you?
They can just connect directly with me and send me a direct message. That would be brilliant. Yeah.
Cool. And you are tagged in this video, so that's super easy to find. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing all of this stuff. I love, of course, I know you're like fairly new to my group, but I'm very like the sage archetype, very practical and analytical sometimes. So I love how you made everything just really tangible and really easy to understand. So it's been awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you so much for having me on and, you know, having interruptions. I really appreciate it. And it's super fun.
Well, good. Yay. So if anyone has any more questions, feel free to put them into the comments in the replay, and we will be back in here soon. So everyone have a great rest of your weekend, and adios. That's all we got. Bye.
Bye.